Anonymous Watch Guy here, and today we're going to look at some GMT watches. But of course, quick wrist check, wearing the Tudor Black Bay 41 silver dial today. Awesome watch, one of my very favorites. But when we talk about GMT watches, a lot of times you'll hear terminology such as an office or caller GMT and a traveler or true GMT. And that language can be a little bit confusing, especially if you are not a watch enthusiast or someone that's really up on what those terms mean or what the differences between automatic GMT movements are. So I've got a few watches on the table here. I've got the Seiko 5KX GMT, which has the NH34 movement in it, of course, which is an office GMT movement. And then I've got both the Mito Ocean Star Decompression World Timer and the Norcane Neverest 41, which are both true GMTs. So what is the difference? So let's take a look at the Seiko 5KX first. And as I mentioned, this is the NH34 movement from Seiko. And this is a movement that you're not only going to find in a lot of GMTs that Seiko has come out with, but you're also going to see this movement a boatload ton in micro brand watches. This is an affordable GMT movement. You're going to see it in, just about everywhere you look. A lot of micro brand GMTs are going to be using this movement. So what is an office or caller GMT? So it gets its name from business, office, business. It'd be common to use maybe in an office setting. Say I work on the West Coast and my company also has an office on the East Coast, and I am doing a lot of business and communication between those offices. So just a quick example here. Say if I'm on the West Coast, and, it's 9:10 on the West Coast. On the East Coast of the U.S., it's a 3-hour time difference. So I would have my GMT hand at the 12, so I would know it is 9:15 here versus 12:15 on the East Coast. I can track both time zones easily. So that's kind of how that works. The way the movement works and the way these, one of the differences between the movements. So in your first position on your office GMT, you have your ability to set, you've got a quick set date in one direction, changes the date. In the other direction, that is how you track your second time zone. That is the movement of your GMT hand. In your second position, that hacks the movement, and then you set your home time zone. So you set your home time zone in the second position, you set your GMT hand in that first position, and the GMT hand moves independently in that first position, and that is the main difference between your office or caller GMT in a true GMT. So how does this true GMT movement work? Well, it is a little bit different. Let's take a look at it. So this one does have a screw down crown. This is featuring the KES movement. This is an in-house movement manufacturer that manufactures movements for Tudor, Breitling, as well as Norcane. So in your first position on a true GMT movement, you may also hear this movement called a jumping hour movement or traveler's GMT because your hour hand moves independently. You can jump it an hour at a time, as you can see there, and that allows you to make quick changes if you are traveling between multiple time zones quickly. So I can quickly change my current time zone with that jumping hour function. I can go forward and backward. But with your true GMT movement, one thing you will notice, there is no quick set date feature. you set your date with the jumping hour. So I would just move my hour around. Boom. That's how I change the date on a True GMT. So if I'm traveling between multiple time zones very quickly, I can very quickly adjust my current time zone. Your second position hacks the movement, and that is how you can set your GMT hand. Your GMT hand does not move independently. It moves along with your other rest of the hand stack. So if I wanted to set the GMT hand to 1 o'clock position, and I'm tracking, a time zone that's 3 hours in front of me, there I can move my hour hand, my jumping hour, and then I've got my current time zone versus the second time zone that I'm tracking. So that is the main difference. In a office or collar GMT, the GMT hand is what you can move independently. In your traveler's GMT, it is your hour hand. Again, you may hear it referred to as a jumping hour. So that is the difference between the movements. Also, you may have differences in bezels too, as this is your 24-hour bezel. You'll see in a lot of GMTs. And then on the Mito, it is a world timer. So you've got your world time bezel, where you can see various cities around the globe. And you can see what time zone they're in. So you would know if I'm over here, I'm on the same time as New York. Or as where it's pointing now, I'm on the same time as Beijing. So it's a world timer. Not just a True GMT. So that is another difference in GMT watches. But that's a whole nother little rabbit hole there. Just a quick video explaining the difference between an office or collar GMT and a True GMT. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. If you liked the video, give me a like, maybe subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.